I just want to put this out there because I saw it again, a comment that the Arabs attacked Israel in 47, and this is why the Palestinians of today need to be genocided or something because they shouldn't have attacked Israel, whatever. That whole narrative. It's complete bullshit, okay? It's total bullshit. And too many people who consider themselves even like anti-Zionists repeat this shit. Like, yeah, the Palestinians didn't ever accept the partition, but I mean, would you accept the partition? None of that happened. It was never put to a vote. There was no... Before independence even happened in Israel, Palestine, the entire area of Palestine was part of Transjordan, which was a larger colony. It was one colony called Transjordan, and it included what is today historic Palestine and the country of Jordan. And when the British carved that into two separate colonies, Jordan and Palestine, for different reasons, the Zionists at the time in Palestine were furious because it was supposed to be their homeland. And when they had to face that they only could take what is today Palestine, they committed terrorist attacks against the British because they considered this a betrayal that they were left with only Palestine. So they always intended to seize the entire thing. When the British did eventually leave in 48, they did something they didn't, to my knowledge, they did something they've never done anywhere or anybody's ever done, and they just bounced. There was no independent government set up, there was no representative, there was no transition, flag ceremony, nothing. The British just left. And this was by design because this created a vacuum that allowed the Zionists to launch Plan Dalet, which was their plan to seize all of Palestine, which is what they did. And they started before Britain even left, when it was still mandatory. Mandatory means colonial. When it was still colonial British territory, the the Zionists just tried to seize the entire thing. And this is what's known as the Nakba. This began in 46, 47, before the British even left the area. And of course the British let them do it because the British gave the Zionists whatever they wanted. And the neighboring Arab states didn't really give a shit because it's not their country. They have their own little countries now. But either way, they couldn't do anything to save the Palestinians anyway, because this was part of the British Empire. You know, if you're the king of Jordan, you can't invade British Palestine to save Palestinians from Zionists. That's Britain's business, and the British weren't doing anything. But upon independence, then in 48, Israel just declared independence. They just declared it. So this whole talking point about the Arabs rejected the partition plan, it was never put to a vote. There was never an opportunity for the Palestinians to say what they did or didn't want to do. They were already under attack. They were already being driven out. In 48, the British left. The Zionists took the opportunity to declare Israel, and they wanted to seize the whole fucking thing. And that was Israel. And that's still their mentality today. All of Palestine is theirs. And the Palestinians are an afterthought, right? Well, the public pressure was so overwhelming that the neighboring Arab states launched expeditionary forces, very meager forces, into Arab-designated areas to stop the slaughter and stop Zionist militias from completely ethnically cleansing and genociding all of Palestine. And the areas that they were able to salvage from what was mandatory Palestine are what became known as today the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. That's what happened. So this idea that Israel declared independence, little plucky Israel, and all the Arabs just attacked to drive the Jews into the sea is complete horse shit. And while we're at it, later, the now Israelis, who had been stopped from seizing what they always viewed as their rightful territory, sat on it for a little bit until they were strong enough to attack Egypt and Jordan and seize West Bank and Gaza. And they did attack. They won't even deny that they started that war. They'll say, well, we had to, but that's bullshit. You don't ever have to start a war. The person who fires the first shot started the war. This is the standard we use for every fucking war in history. Abraham Lincoln knew Fort Sumter was going to be attacked, and he had to resupply it anyway and wait for the Confederates to fire first. The French in World War I withdrew their forces 5 miles back from the frontier, giving up priceless strategic points because they didn't want to be blamed for starting the war. So the Israelis just attacked their neighbors and seized the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. And that's where we are today. They've started every single war. And all the other wars where the Arab so-called Arabs, the Egyptians, Assyrians, did invade first, it was to recover illegally annexed territories such as the Sinai Peninsula, the Golan Heights, the West Bank and Gaza, Jerusalem, and the Suez Canal. So even then, Israel's responsible. Israel started every single war, and they always come up with a reason for why they had to do it, but it's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. Don't listen to them. Free Palestine.